Hello and welcome to English for AP, Literature and Composition. I'm Ann Dudek and I'll be working with your students this year in English 4 AP, and we are getting ready to prepare for the AP test in the spring. We have a lot to do and a wonderful curriculum set forward to get to that point. Currently, the AP has told us that we should plan as normal to have the test as it normally is scheduled, and that would be in the spring. It typically consists of a multiple choice section, which has students analyze prose and poetry passages, and then 3 written responses, 1 to analyze a poem, 1 for a prose passage, and 1 to write about a novel. The novels that we study here at LT are great ones that they'll be able to use for that particular question. So all the work we do this year prepares them for that particular test. Additionally, they have already signed up for the AP classes online, which allow them to have additional practice resources and get feedback in that program as well too. And so we'll be working with that throughout the year as we move forward. So I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. This starts my 30th year of teaching. I spent 3 years in the city at De La Salle Institute in Chicago. And then I have been at LT for 26 years. In my first couple of years at LT, I did coach the congressional debate team. And then I began to work in the theater. And so after I earned my master's in theater, I was able to join the LT theater program and for about 20 years, and we did a number of productions. So I'm really proud of the work we were able to do. It was an awesome time to work with students in that capacity, both putting plays on the stage and all the work that went into that behind the scenes and our daily rehearsals and things of that sort. So I have to step out a little bit and take a break. It's some time that I need to spend with family, with my parents to hear some of their stories, and with my nieces and nephews to see them in all their new sports and productions as well too. So hopefully we'll be able to join some of those other activities again, but for right now, some family time is what's needed. So let me go ahead and share the screen a little bit to give you a little bit of background on what we're going to be doing as well. So this semester, we have a number of things to work on. We're going to work with the short stories with Dubliners by James Joyce, and personal narrative writing. So we've already begun to do some of that this week, and the goal of that will be to help us work also on the college essays that many of your students are at this point writing or revising, and I'm happy to help out in that process. If the students want to set up a meeting, I'm happy to take a look at some of the work that they're writing for those particular essays. We will spend some time doing a lot of literary and analytical writing as we take a look at all of the literature and the poetry that we're studying. Our first novel, To the Lighthouse, is really delightful. There are a lot of family dynamics and interesting characters and relationships and marriage and children and careers and paths that we choose. And in the modernist tradition, it does offer a chance to work with time manipulation and a stream of consciousness style and multiple viewpoints. And so there's a lot of kind of puzzling it all together for the students, particularly when, if we think of the first section of the book, it takes place over one day, and it's about 125 pages. And so a little bit of a different structure, but we really have some fun with that. When we get to Hamlet, we'll be looking at the questions that it raises, a lot of ambiguity, and a lot of the development of that character Hamlet as he wrestles with so many things. And we'll have a chance to work with that particular play as well. In the spring, we'll take up The Namesake and Jane Eyre and Ethan Frome and more poetry. And we also do hope to get to our independent research projects as well, that we'll have a chance to do in the spring session, and that will be guided by a lot of student choice and what they're wanting to look at and examine and research as we move forward. We'll be, of course, looking at the AP test all year long, but more intense practice, of course, in the spring session as well, too. For the expectations and grades, the school has moved to a formative and summative practice. So all the formative assignments and practices do not count toward the overall grade, but they will receive feedback. And the summative assignments are the ones which will count toward the final grade. Those assignments can be revised according to the Language Arts Division policy. So in this time, students are expected, of course, to always read and complete all the responses, and we should kind of continue to work on that. If they have questions, they can reach out. We can always have a conference on the Zoom time, or just email questions as well too. But as they continue to do all the work, that's all the preparation that helps them do their best and grow in the skills they need as the course continues. The remote learning for us, we do work with a Canvas page that's organized by modules week to week, and on each week there is a calendar that students can access to look at the assignments and the materials that we'll be covering, and the Zoom modules also will have all the resource documents that they'll need to work with for that particular week as well. Our class time will be spent with Zoom, which allows us to have whole class discussions and breakout groups. I can join those breakout groups to work with students additionally in smaller group settings. We will submit work in both Canvas and turnitin.com. We'll use Google Docs to have students share their work for peer feedback and review sessions. And of course, students can always access the databases, the research databases at LT for their projects and research materials. Here's a sample page of our Canvas homepage, just so you can kind of see what it looks like with the calendar and assignments that you'll see in this icon, and then documents that we're going to be using for that particular time. So again, students can find all the material that they'll need there as well. If you have any questions, the quickest way to get hold of me is through the email, and we can always set up a phone conference if need be. I am available to work with your students during the morning Vita Plena time, or during fourth period, or after school. Again, if we want to work on something that will take a little bit more time, we can set up a Zoom meeting, or we can do quick questions through the email. So in this kind of strange time, I'm anxious to have the students back in class. I do miss them here and getting to work with them directly. But I'll just ask that we continue to take good care of ourselves. And so as students maintain enough sleep and healthy habits, if they do need to require extensions, that's perfectly fine. I would rather have them be healthy as they hopefully will get back to activities and sports on top of all the work that they'll be doing for the class time. So again, thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to share anything that will help me with work with your students in this year. And again, I look forward to working with you in this year. Thank you.